everyone, welcome back to WsCube. In our today's session, we will be solving problems related to the string methods. In our previous session, also, we have covered 5 questions related to string methods. Today, again, we will be covering 5 methods related to the string functions. Let's have a look at the questions that we have today. Before that, if you want to become a successful data analyst and if you want to learn from our experts live, then you can call on the given number or you can fill the form that is provided in our description. Not just that, with our every batch, you will be getting 2 demo classes for free. First of all, our first question says to take an input from a user as a string, then reverse it. So all we need to do is take an input from the user as any word or a sentence, and we have to then reverse it. Let's have a look on how it can be done. So first of all, let's take a user input. So I'm taking string is equals to input, enter a word or sentence. Okay. So now what I need to do, whatever the input user gives, whatever word or input user gives, I need to reverse it. To reverse it, we have a very simple method from our slicing that all we need to do is write print name of the string, that is string. Inside the square brackets, I'll not take any starting value, not take any ending value. I'll be keeping both as default, and then I'll be using -1 to reverse whole thing. So to reverse a string, all we need to do is not define the first value, not define the ending value if you're reversing the whole string, and use -1 as a gap in between. So it will not go all the way from left to right, it will go all the way from right to left and reverse the whole string. So let's run and see what happens. Let's say I have written hello over here. So it reversed my string OLLEH, right? This is how we can take our input from the user and reverse it. Let's see what we have in our next question. In our next question over here, we have write a program to check if a string contains only digit. So let's see if a string contains only digit or not. So guys, here also I'm considering the same example over here that I used before. I'm taking the input from the user as a string, and on this string I will be using the isDigit method to check if there are digits inside this string or not, if there are numbers inside this strings or not. So all I need to do is write print string, the name of the string, dot isDigit, and open close the parentheses. So if I run it, if I'll write hello, it will give me false because there are no digits inside it. At the same time, if I'll write, let's say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, it gives me true because yes, there are digits inside it. But what if there is a string which has numbers and alphabets inside it? For that, what we can do, we can use our lnum function over here, which tells us that even if there are letters over there are also digits inside it. So by the help of this isDigit method, we can find out if there are numbers inside our string or not. Let's see what we have in our next question. So our next question over here says that write a program to check if a string is palindrome. So we have done similar kind of a question, but that time we did it with the integers. Today we will be dealing with the strings using the string methods. Previously we did it with the integers and used the loop over there. So let's see how it can be done. So again, I'm considering the case over here where I'm taking the string as the input from the user. So what I need to do is I need to see that if the reverse of this string is equal to the string itself. Like suppose what is palindrome over here is basically when you write WOW, that is wow. So if you reverse the wow, we still get wow over here. At the same time, if we have written THED, and if we reverse it, we get EHT, which is not the same. So palindrome over here means when we write the reverse of something, it still gives us the same output. So what I'm going to do to find the reverse of it, all I need to write is create a variable called as reverse. Reverse will be containing string and reverse of it, that is colon -1. So colon here is, so 2 empty columns over here are telling us that we are not defining the starting value, we are not defining the ending value, we are only saying that it will go all the way from right to left, that it is going to be reverse of it. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to check if it is palindrome or not. So I'll use a condition over here that if reverse of this string is equals to the string, in that condition we will print it is palindrome, else we will be printing not palindrome. So let's run and see what happens. So I'm writing a word over here. Let's say I'm writing ADAM, which we can clearly see is a palindrome, and as soon as I run it, it gives me yes, it is palindrome. I'll run it once again and try with something which is not palindrome. So if I write hello over here, it tells me it is not palindrome because the reverse of it will be OLLEH, which is not the same output. So this is a simple method to find out a palindrome of a string. So our next question over here says that write a program to find a number of vowels and a number of consonants in a string. Let's see how it can be done. So I'm considering a case over here where I'm creating a string whose value inside it is hello everyone. What I need to do, I need to check how many vowels are there and how many consonants are there. So vowels, we already know that or the vowels we have in our alphabets, in our 26 alphabets, are A, E, I, O, U, and remaining rest of them are consonants. So I'll be checking for a condition over here, and plus every time there is a occurrence of a vowel, every time there is a vowel over here, the counter will increase. The counter of vowels and the counter of consonants will increase. So I'll be using a for loop to iterate the whole string, and I'll be checking the each element inside the string, that if it is a vowel or a consonant. So first of all, let's create two variables over here. I'll be creating a variable called as VC. VC will be the vowels count, which I'm setting to 0. And I'm also creating another variable CC, that is the consonants count, which I'm setting to 0. Now I'll be taking a for loop over here, that for I in A. Why I'm writing for I in A? Because I'll be iterating each value inside the string. I'll be checking for each value inside a string, that if it is a vowel or not. So we will be checking for a condition that if I in A, E, I, O, U, which are all the vowels that we have in our alphabet. So in our 26 alphabets, and if it is there in A, E, I, O, U, what we will be doing, we will be increasing the vowels count by 1. So we see will be increased by 1. So over here, if we write else, then it will also count the spaces, which we don't want to count. So we will give another condition over here, that if I is greater than A and I is smaller than Z. In that condition, we will increase the CC count, that CC plus is equal to 1. Now in the end, we will be printing both of them, that print VC. So total, I'll be writing total number of vowels are, I'll put a comma over here and close the string, and print total number of consonants CC. Let's run and see what happens. So when I run this program, I get the output over here that there are total 6 vowels and 6 consonants. That means that every time there is a vowel, it increases the count with 1, and every time there is a consonant, it increases the count with 1. Right? Now moving ahead, let's have a look on another question. Our next question over here says that write a program to check if a word in string begins with a capital letter or not. Let's see how this program can be written. So all we need to do is, I'm considering a case where A is equals to, I'll be taking the input from the user to enter a word or sentence, and what we will be checking if it starts with a capital letter or not. To check if it starts with a capital letter or not, in our string methods we have learned this method that is called as isTitle. IsTitle allows us to check that every word inside a string has a capital letter in it or not. Let's have a look on how it can be done. So I'll be writing print A dot is title, open close the parentheses over here, and as soon as I run it, it asks me that write a sentence. Let's say I'm writing hello, it tells me it is true. At the same time, if I write any sentence over here like hello world, where world has small w, it gives me false. Why? Because both the words should have their first letters as capital. So this is how this problem can be solved, and we are done with the 5 problems that we have solved in our this session. I hope you guys have no doubts and no questions. In our next session, we will be discussing about more 5 problems that can be solved using the string methods. So stay connected, and I'll see you in the next session. Thank you.